Good afternoon, distinguished guests, principals, members of our business community, and all of those who are working behind the scenes to make this program a success. A big shout out to my principal partner at Moore Elementary, Miss Letitia Brown, Gold Manatees. Welcome, and thank you all for participating in the second annual CEO in Schools program. This program creates opportunities for Tampa Bay's business community to partner with our dynamic principals to help lift our entire education system to a higher level. We started this program after Woodland Johnson and Letitia Brown allowed me to spend an entire day at Moore Elementary. I was so incredibly impressed with the work that our teachers, faculty, and staff were doing, the love and compassion they shared and showed their students, and the understanding of the challenges that many faced at home. My mom was a civil rights activist in the late 50s and early 60s. She ingrained in me and my siblings education is the great equalizer. I sincerely believed that if we could just get our CEOs to spend one entire day in an elementary school, they would find places to build and strengthen relationships. They would see the needs to be a positive inspiration to principals, staff, and students. It's working. We are creating change. We developed this initiative because we knew it would help our students, our principals, our schools, and our community. I asked my friend Kim Joel from the Hillsborough Education Foundation if she would partner with me and lead this program into the future. The Hillsborough Education Foundation is the right nonprofit organization to do just that. Kim has my commitment. I will be one step behind her and to her right to assist wherever we can to help make the CEOs in Schools program the best it could possibly be for our community. Today, you will hear from business leaders and principals who will share their stories about the impacts that are being made. You will hear from elected officials who believe in the value of this program. Superintendent Davis, thank you for allowing the business community to partner with you. Please welcome my friend, the CEO of Hillsborough Education Foundation, Mrs. Kim Joel.
Thank you, Brian, and the Vistor team for the partnership and the privilege of allowing Hillsborough Education Foundation to be part of this program, along with Hillsborough County Public Schools. And thank you, everyone, for being with us today and showing your support of this important initiative. I think Brian said it best. Well, it was actually his mom, right, that said it best. Education is the great equalizer, and our foundation absolutely believes that, and it is why every day we are focused on our mission of strengthening public education. We see the inequities that our highest need schools face, and we see the difference it makes when schools are supported by their community. Our schools are shaping tomorrow's community members, our future workforce and leaders, and we all have a very vested interest in their success. So I thank you, our business leaders, for giving your time today and on February 19th to see, listen, and perhaps even do things that our public school educators, support staff, and administrators experience every day. I am confident you will gain a new perspective and an even deeper respect for the role our schools play in preparing students for academic and personal success. And a special thank you to our principals on the call. Thank you for sharing your time and your school with our community leaders. We want both of you to get the most out of this experience, and that is what today is all about. So to give you a quick overview of what's to come, We're going to hear from, outside of hearing from some of our program participants from previous year, we also have some examples of what your day on February 19th could look like. So that'll take us through about the first 25 minutes, and then we have some dedicated time to answer questions you have. There is a Q&A box where you can drop in questions, and we are monitoring that, and we'll be answering questions during the session, as well as responding to them at the end of the session. So please don't hold back on any questions you have. I will tell you we're going to be wrapping up early. We did this intentionally so that there was enough time for principals to reach out to their paired business partner and start talking about what your one day of change on February 19th will look like. Every principal and business leader has each other's contact information. It was actually part of that confirmation email you all received when you got matched. So if you're looking for it frantically, it's in that confirmation email. So today we were going to have Congresswoman Kathy Castor, who is an amazing advocate for education and was here with us as we launched CEOs in Schools last year. She was going to be with us, but just a little bit ago, we got word from her staff that the Congresswoman is tied up in a longer than expected session. So we know she's doing important work and she would be with us if she could. But I do have another special guest to introduce. Mayor Jane Castor, who is another great supporter of this program, is with us and would like to share some words with all of you. Mayor Castor, thank you for being with us today.
She is having technical issues, Kim. She's not on the call.
Oh, so we just learned that in typical 2020 and 2021 fashion, we're having some technical difficulties. So we will move to the next part, and when she's able to connect, we'll circle back to her. Sound good? All right. So we're moving through this agenda very quickly now. Since the launch of CEOs in Schools last school year, we've heard from principals and business leaders just how much each side benefits from this initiative. So right now we're going to show a quick video from Shore Elementary Magnet School of the Arts with Principal Sherry Bollinger and her paired partner, Gary Weissman, Chief of Staff from the Office of the State Attorney in Hillsborough County. And let's take a look and listen to their experiences from last year's One Day of Challenge.
I thought this is something out of the ordinary for my day. I was interested right away. It's an inspirational experience.
I thought it was a great idea. It was something different, something new, and it opened our doors and our eyes to allow a CEO in our community to come into our school.
I took away from it, here at Shore Elementary, every teacher, the principal, everybody is inspirational. And it was a wonderful thing for me to see. We get caught in the sort of day-to-day of our management, of our own offices, and I got to see a principal who knows the name of every student in her school. I got to see teachers that care at a level we can't possibly fathom until you see it. And it reminded me of what really matters. There are bigger pictures beyond just the four corners of our office. We got to get out in the community and we got to see what's happening.
The children responded very well. They enjoyed having a visitor come in and ask about what their needs, what they wanted, and he got to go read to our VPK program. And then we had to go do lunch duty, so he got to experience what lunch duty looked like. And then we had a few calls in between, and then he got to actually do some walkthroughs with us and giving feedback to the students and to the teachers. It is about helping the kids and the teachers be the best they can be each and every day.
When Principal Bollinger met with parents at a parent conference, I got to hear the concerns up front from a parent who was going through some distress. There were 10,000 eye-opening moments.
It opens up my eyes to know that I am the CEO of a school, and to appreciate our businesses and their CEO and how they operate, and having that banter back and forth and just be able to talk, and they offer an outside input to help us become better. Just those partnerships we build with our community is very important to nourish our students, because they too will be in the workforce in years to come. We're looking forward to our interaction with Mr. Weissman again this year.
Long term, there are challenges in our school system, and I hope to be part of those solutions, whether it's the day-to-day making lives easier for teachers or principals who are dealing with administrative things at a global level to affect systemic change, or it's a simple need of a school. I'd like to be part of some of those solutions. I'm really looking forward to the experience again.
Boy, what a wonderful video. And thank you very much, Sherry and Gary, for inspirational words and a short look into your CEOs in Schools experience. My name is Gary Vian, and I'm the Chief Administrative Officer at Suncoast Credit Union. Suncoast Credit Union was started in 1934 as the Hillsborough County Teachers Credit Union. And we started in education, and we have made a lifetime of commitments to our teachers, educators, and support employees. As soon as I heard about this inaugural program, I called Brian Butler and asked him what we could do to back this effort. And he said, you know, Gary, schools have been there to support us, and it's time for us to return the favor. Help me get some CEOs in the schools for a day. And we did. Suncoast Credit Union just doesn't support this program with funding, but we actively participate in it. So last year, our CEO, Kevin Johnson, spent the day at Bryan Elementary, and I had the privilege to spend my day at Pride Elementary with Principal Amy Zabar. This year, I'm going back to Pride, and I can't wait to spend the day with Principal Paulette English. And I was just amazed at the dedication, the focus on student success, and how everyone that I met, from the students to all of the staff, were there really for the same purpose. And it ran like clockwork, from the arrival to the students, through all the lunch periods, attending a teacher assessment. I went in to look at science lessons, and at the end of the day pickup, I served lunch, cleaned tables, asked student questions, and realized how important schools are to the vitality of all of our neighborhoods. The CEO Schools program is all about bringing the community into the schools and the schools into the community. And I want to thank you all for being part of this program. And I know it will have a big impact on you as it had for me. And now it is my honor to introduce the next speaker, Hillsborough County School Board Chair, Lynn Gray. Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Gary. And I want to first thank Brian Butler. Your involvement and taking the helm of CEOs in the schools is remarkably successful. And I'm excited. I also want to say thanks, Kim Jowl, for being the conduit of putting all this together, making sure that these businesses, these great givers are in our schools and being the facilitator as well. I am an educator of most of my life, and as we all know, education takes many forms. And one of the fine memories I've had as an educator is when the business community comes into the classroom, because the children learn so much more than just your textbooks. And I know intellectually we know that, but indeed they learn how it is to not only aspire to be a corporate leader or a supervisor, but they also learn the soft skills, the mannerisms, what is necessary for them to do in terms of their academics. And in effect, you're giving them not only hope, but you're setting forth dreams of what they can do and what they will aspire to do as they go through their school years. And what valuable lessons that you all share. And we are just so lucky and just so appreciative to every one of you CEOs who have committed an entire day. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact amount of time, but I know it's a lot, and I know how busy you are. But we cannot thank each of you enough for what you're doing. And you know that you change a child's life by every 5 to 10 minutes just by being there. And I am sincerely, I mean that in effect. So I don't want to take up any more time. I know we have other VIPs, but I look forward to seeing what's going on in the classroom. And you know we have to thank the principals too, because I know a few of them that are so much looking forward today to meet some of their partners. And so I think this is a fabulous win-win. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. God bless every one of you. Thank you.
And thank you, Board Chair Gray, for, we continue to appreciate your hard work. I want to extend my sincerest gratitude to Brian Butler and the entire Vistra organization for creating this impactful program that brings business communities to our leaders, to our schools, and truly creating lasting relationships. I've been able to witness firsthand the incredible effects this program has had on so many of our schools, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this kickoff event. Brian and his team were able to conceptualize the CEOs and Schools initiative, making it successful enough to drive into our second year when it even become even better and even stronger as we seek to build everlasting relationships. And also want to thank him, Joel, in the Hillsborough Educational Foundation for helping to introduce and to produce this event in partnership with Vistra. My hat's off to each of you, and for you, Kim and Brian, for your hard work, your dedication, your commitment to Hillsborough County Public Schools as we seek to create the best experiences that we can for every learner, and do it through the lens of our community members, especially to our CEOs who can identify the monumental task of being a leader within our school every single day. The CEOs and Schools initiative is a one day of change, and it's clearly demonstrated the abilities to connections to be made with each of our schools during the volunteer day, especially this opportunity between our volunteers, our CEO, and our principals. We saw so many of our CEOs contribute not only to one day of the volunteerism, but also many cases leveraging their influence and resources throughout the entire year, creating truly valuable partnerships throughout this district, and we're thankful for that. And we can talk about so many examples that we've seen this relationship thrive. One I know of is at West Tampa Elementary School. Is a beautiful opportunity for Prime Group Insurance and Ed Sasser partnership with Principal Castor. Not only do they work to understand the needs of the school, the needs of the community, but they went up and put a beautiful mural on that spans the entire side of the school, and this has changed the face of the campus, to give them students something to be proud of, and it's directly a result of what our CEOs continue to do and through that partnership. So we're thankful. And so I challenge each of our principals this year to truly seize this wonderful opportunity. These partnerships are so important to be able to make a difference in the lives of our children and to have a lasting impact in our community and our schools. So to our principals, get to know your CEO, allow them to learn everything they can about the amazing role that you take on as being civic leaders, community leaders, instructional leaders. Explain about, let them know about the great programs you offer and about how you truly create magical moments for students, and also highlight some of the great areas of opportunities that we need, some of the, whether it's from a local level or from a state level, and allow them to know about how they can truly be a change agent within your school and within this community. So, treat this initiative as an opportunity to build the gap between business leaders and each of you as school-based leaders, as our children will continue to be better for it. So thank you so very much to Brian and Kim. I'm going to transition back to Mrs. Joel with who's continue to talk about the CEO and how Hillsborough Educational Foundation has continued to be a partner in this work.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Davis. And
Kim,
thank you.
I hate to interrupt you, but the mayor has arrived, and I wanted to make you aware of that in case you didn't know.
Wonderful. I'll just finish up these thank yous. So also thank you, Gray. And then I also want to thank Gary for your words in support of this program. So I'm so glad you were able to join us, Mayor Castor. We appreciate that you can make some time. We know you support this program in education. So thank you for being with us. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. And I hope I don't have to go to the principal's office for being talked about.
Always waiting, right?
Actually, in today's event, that would be rather difficult to figure out exactly where I'm supposed to go. But I just want to echo, all of the accolades that have been given. I can't think of a more exciting and practically effective program than the CEO program, as was stated before, to bring the business community into the schools and to put the schools into the business community. And the more that we can do that, the better our entire city and our community will be. So hats off. Thank you to Brian for starting this program. Also echo the words of Superintendent Davis about, a lot of the tangible results, successes that we've seen so far from the West Tampa Elementary. I was out there with the mural the day the kids got to see that. And then just the equipment and the ideas, the initiatives, the strategies, but also those partnerships, you know, that will benefit both the principals and other staff members, as it will the CEOs. As you know, we come together as a community. We live in the greatest city in the nation, and this is one of the examples of why Tampa is such a great community. In Hillsborough County, I have to say Hillsborough County, we really are an incredible area, actually the entire Tampa Bay area. So this program will pay dividends for years to come. And as I've found in the mentoring opportunities that I have had through a number of different programs, that you always get more than you give. So thank you to all of the CEOs. I know you're busy with 1,000 other things on your calendar, but your commitment to something as important as the education of our future generations can really not be matched. So thank you to everyone involved. And you know I'm there. I think everybody has my cell phone number. Anything that I can do to facilitate, we are all in. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Mayor Castor. We appreciate your words and support and making time today and being able to manage internet and technical assistance there. Thank you so much.
There you go.
So just a quick reminder that anybody, if you have questions, that Q&A box is there. Just want to sprinkle that in throughout the presentation and make sure you know we're there to, if you have any questions. So, all right, next part is I want to share this with you. This document may look familiar since we emailed it to you. We emailed it to you last Wednesday. So if you're looking for something in the email, that's the date we sent it. And this was created as a tool to help you design what your time together on February 19th could be. So on the first page, you'll see the sample agenda. We provided in-person and virtual options. Just like students, we believe that the best learning happens in the classroom, but given our current reality, we know virtual options are needed. I will point out that elementary schools start pretty bright and early at 7:40 a.m. So keep that in mind. We also have provided a list of sample activities to consider. So after greeting students, your day could include time with the school safety officer, serving lunch, reading to students, to meetings with teachers and administrators. And let me tell you, the principals pack a lot into their day, so I have no doubt that you'll have plenty of activities to choose from. In the column to the right, we've added some sample topics and those questions that help principals and business leaders get the conversation going and really learn what the schools need, how business leaders can help, and business leaders, you can share your knowledge with principals, staff, and students. Again, these are meant to serve only as thought-provoking examples for you to make it your own. You both are encouraged to design the day in a way that is meaningful to both of you. So, our next two speakers really took one day of change and made it, I think, 365 days of change. They continue their successful partnership throughout the year. It is my pleasure to introduce Ed Alsasser, president of Prime Insurance Group, who's going to kick this section off. And he will be followed by his paired principal from West Tampa Elementary School, Kevin Castor. Ed?
Yes, thanks, Kim. Thanks to everyone for their words of wisdom to this point. I wanted to share a few keys, what I feel are have led to the success of Kevin and mine's relationship, and some of the things we've been able to accomplish to help the students and the community in West Tampa. One thing that we did was we weren't able to connect last year at the kickoff meeting, so we scheduled a time, and I went in and spent an hour with him at the school and just kind of we got to know each other. Got to learn about his family and about his past, his experience with other Title I schools, and he got to learn more about my family, my business, and some of my areas of expertise where I could help. And then in the day of the event, I got to really get to know his team, which I haven't told Kevin this story, but the kind of the aha moment for me, we were packed in a conference room with 5 fourth grade teachers, and they were going through a student evaluation and student by student and just pointing out, okay, this student's struggling with reading. Let's pair them up with this student, and this student needs some math help, so let's pair them up with this teacher for some extra help. And you know, the school, you know, many of them are first generation English speaking kids. You know, everybody's on the free and reduced lunch and food insecurities and things like that. But anyway, so the day really hit home with me, and I wanted to help. So I sat down with Kevin and I said, what are some of your top priorities? So what do you need help with? And so we focused on 3 things initially. That was Kevin wanted to get some art on the campus. The campus, it's a nice, clean campus, but very, I guess, plain, for lack of a better term. So we talked about that. He wanted to get a PTA going. The school didn't have a PTA, and he wanted to some help with hosting a Christmas appreciation lunch for the teachers. So we started with the mural. You can see the slide here. The slogan for West Tampa is "Work hard, be nice." So we were able to incorporate that into the mural, along with the Greyhounds, their mascot, and some of the West Tampa feel of the homes in the neighborhood. But kind of the key with that was connecting the dots. So you can see in the picture on the right, Brian connected me to Kevin, and then I connected Kevin to Tim Moore there in the middle, who Tim's a good friend that runs Diamond View Studios, and he heads up the Tampa Foundation, which is a nonprofit that focuses on getting art projects around the city. So I brought Tim in to meet Kevin. Tim then brought the muralist in and worked on the design, and then I went out with Tim, and we helped raise the money to get the project done. And thanks to Mayor Castor for coming out, and especially for bringing her dog. All the kids love to see her dog, so that was fun. We unveiled the mural last year about this time when the kids came back to school. And then on the PTA front, so that's where I got my team involved, because we're all busy as business leaders, and it takes a village. So I got a few people from my office to work with Kevin and one of the parents who committed to start a PTA and start coming to meetings. And then we hosted some events on Valentine's Day, like Muffins for Moms. We brought in muffins, and my team came in and we served muffins and had flyers and helped generate interest in the PTA. And I'll let Kevin to speak to some of the success, but it's really taken off. And did donuts for dads and get the dads involved and things like that. And then I was able to for the Christmas event connect with Catering by the Family. My friend Steven Gonzalez runs it. Said, hey, I want to bring in some food for the teachers. I was able to bring in former friend of mine, former school board member Steve Kona, to speak to the teachers, thank them for all they do. Brought my team in to serve the meal, and we got to spend some good quality time with the teachers, and that was fun, and also and everybody had a great time. So those are just an idea, a few of the things. If you want to go to the next slide, I'll kind of just wrap up with what I think are the keys. Like this here, Kevin called me up earlier this year, said, hey, all of our umbrellas are broken. Can you give me some umbrellas? So I'm like, well, that's a good giveaway for my clients too. So we ordered 50 umbrellas. I took 10 over to Kevin, and he wanted to do the picture on the right there. He wanted to do bring in some food for parent teacher conference night for the staff. So we did that. If you go to the next slide, he called me up and said, hey, Ed, I want to get some gift cards for the teachers, some giveaways for Christmas. Can you give me some Amazon gift cards? I said, no problem, Kevin. Love to help. Appreciate all the hard work that your team does. And so we did that. So the key for me, we're all busy business leaders, principals, but he'll ask, he'll put the ask out there. And if I can't get it done, I'll let him know. But if I can, I'll either take care of it personally or ask one of my contacts to help. So, this year, we're working on some new initiatives. We're brainstorming right now to obviously COVID's been a bit of a challenge lately, but we're working on some things like the media center where Kevin's sitting in. We really want to jazz that up and get some new furniture in there and new technology and new paint. We want to work on some after-school programs for the kids, or maybe work on some private funding for that. And the parents in the community really need some help. We were talking about how we can maybe bring in help some financial literacy classes, some English classes, things like that, to help the parents as well, which in turn will help, we feel, the students. So those are just a few ideas. I encourage you all on the call to really, the business leaders, really get in, ask questions, and look for ways you can help and connect the dots and help these students and help these teachers that are working so hard and are really passionate about what they do. So with that, I'll pass it over to my man, Kevin Castor, and thank you all for the time.
Thank you, Ed, and I've really enjoyed our partnership. You really hit on all the keys. The relationship, I think, is the most important part. Ed and I sat down and we spent a good hour talking about nothing that had to do anything with school. We just talked about our families. We just talked about our visions for, what we see each other's, his business and my school, the direction we see it going. I realized that he had one of his neighbors is the parents of one of my teachers. So he grew up, one of my teachers grew up next door to Ed. So I made sure that Ed got to go see that teacher that day. Just making those personal connections with Ed on that first day prior to the event really helped us to develop an open and honest relationship. I'm not somebody who likes to ask for handouts, but when you have that relationship and when you've communicated really openly and honestly with your CEO about what your vision is for your school, what your needs are, it's a lot easier to ask for that help, especially when when you know that it's going to go to a good place. So when I ask Ed for something, I know that what he's willing to do and what he can't do, and he'll let me know, like, hey, yeah, I can do that. You want some gift cards for your teachers? I'll be right over. He's there the next day. You need some umbrellas? He orders the umbrellas, he delivers them, and it works. I don't think Ed's ever said no to anything. If anything, we've said, okay, well, let's figure out how we can do that. And we've been working on a project with the library for a while now, and it's not something that's easily attainable, right? It's something that it's going to take some time and some effort and some energy, but it's worth it, because when you connect with your CEO, they can plug you into resources that we just don't have as leaders of the schools. Ed knows so many small business owners in the community that it's not always coming out of his pocket or his company, but he often connects me to other people in the community. I've got like 5 or 6 different business cards sitting on my desk because Ed passed them to me and said, these people can help you with these things. And we did the mural. The mural was a huge project. It was an amazing event. We had the mayor come out. We had a lot of community involvement and excitement. It was a really great day, but that wasn't even the best thing that came out of our CEO and school day. The best part was my vision when I was appointed principal here was to connect businesses, families, and the communities with the teachers and the students. So Ed really was the missing link to accomplishing that vision. So through our partnership with him, he allowed me to create a PTA where when we started, we had 4 people. I was one of them. So you do the math. He put 2 in place. We had 1 parent. But because his employees came and supported us and gave us the ideas and the encouragement and the help, we were able to put together a PTA that now consists of over 80 parents. And we had our very first meeting this year, we had over 75 parents logged into a Zoom. Whereas last year, our very first meeting consisted of me, 2 of Ed's employees, and a parent who just happened to walk in the office when the meeting was starting. And now we've got a PTA and an avenue for parents to voice their concerns, to have an outlet to kind of say, hey, Mr. Castor, we would like to do this for the school. We would like to do this for the kids. And they help us raise funds. They help us support teachers, and they help us support their kids. So we are helping them help themselves. So it's just what I'm trying to say is it's not about the big things. the big things are great, and the big things they will happen. You know, the big things will come and go, but the relationship that you build with your CEO and the little things like connecting your parents to the businesses and the community, those are the things that have a lasting impact. So if you don't get a mural painted on your building, if you don't have a big ticket item, that doesn't mean your partnership's not successful. Make those connections, build those relationships, and your community will benefit from it. So thank you all. Thank you for letting me speak. Kim, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much. I had to turn on my mic because, you know, that would be the word of 2020 and 21. You're muted. Thank you both for sharing your story with everyone. I love hearing about the success around PTA. That's really powerful. I also love the mural because I know another powerful thing is school pride. And so that definitely, I know, boosted school pride to see that artwork there. So we're now ready to take some questions. I know that we've had some technical issues, I believe, and we believe those have been restored. We also have been recording this, so we can send out a link, but hopefully it hasn't had too much impact on your end. So our team member, Mike McCullum, who's been our diligent Q&A facilitator. Do you have any questions for us, Mike?
I do, Kim. Thank you. So the first question I found, and I remember a few moments ago you shared the sample questions and discussion topics, but one of our guests had a great question. What are some of the questions or suggested questions that participants last year might have asked students during their day?
Oh, that's a great one. I don't know if Ed or Kevin want to take a lead on that, as I don't know if you knew you might be called on for that, but do you want to take a lead on that?
For me, I just, I wanted to get a feel for, try to get to know people that day. I mean, you're kind of on the go, hopping around to different classrooms and things like that, but try to, spend as much time as I could and find out, ask questions about, what they were working on or what, if I got this chance to talk to the kids, I just, tried. It was around Halloween, so there was a lot of Halloween chatter going on that day. So anyway, good. I don't know if that helped or not. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I know I threw you a curve there. Sorry, Ed. I'll make that up to you later. But what we'll do, I think that's a great question, and it's not one that we, there's probably a lot. So why don't we make a commitment to put some sample questions together for students? So we'll send that out to you all in an email. So thank you for that great question.
Kim, I would also say when you're scheduling your CEO's day, I was very intentional about making sure Ed got a taste of everything from lunch duty to going into my behavior support classes to going into data chats like he mentioned. We were doing report card reviews and data chats and problem solving. So he got to experience time with my SRO, my resource officer, my lunch ladies, my bookkeeper, my data processor, my classrooms. So just make sure that you pack it in there so that they get a chance to meet everybody, because you don't always know what their area of expertise is. So just connect them to everybody at the school and then see where they can help from there.
Thank you both. Yeah, those data chats are very interesting. That would definitely be on the top of my list of recommendations. Mike, we're 3:40, so can you give us 2 more questions? Take the next one.
I can, yeah, absolutely. This was more of a comment made by one of our principals, which I thought was great. And what was said was in the event leading up to February 19th, for CEOs that will be participating at the school or volunteering in person, that principals should share any protocols as they approach the day regarding attendance or what they need to bring, especially around COVID-19 and the precautions schools are taking around that. So just communicating some of that feedback to some of those leaders.
Yep, they definitely need to make sure they got their driver's license, mask, they will get temperature checks. So yeah, depending on if they're doing in person, that definitely should be part of the conversations with the principal. So thank you for raising that and making sure we make everybody aware.
Absolutely, Kim. And then just the final question that I see here, one of our leaders posed, what if I can only participate for half the day on February 19th? Can I still participate?
Okay, so yes, the answer absolutely is yes. I think Brian would emphatically make sure to say yes. We just ask that you make the most of whatever time you can give, for sure. So if it can't be the full day, do what you can and make the most of it. So thank you, Mike, for facilitating that for us and making sure we're being responsive. They were definitely some good questions. So we will follow up with the commitment to the one question about students. And we thank you all for being with us. Before I toss it back to Brian to close out our time together, I would like to share that we have about 30 schools that still need a CEO. So I'd like to ask each of you to use your network to help us show support of our schools and get a business leader signed up for every school. We're so close. That the schools that still need a match are listed on the website, onedayofchange.com. And so I would ask you to please, use your network for us. Brian, I'm going to turn it over to you to close us out for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you other members of the panel today, and thank you CEOs, thank you principals, and all the members of the school district. Please use this time right now. There's no better time than right now to just, when you get off this call, call your principal, call your CEO, and just have a conversation regarding how you get started. This will be what you make of it. And don't feel that you have to come in and just give all your financial resources to make this be successful. You heard some great examples of great partnerships today. You establish and create your own. We really appreciate you being here. We appreciate your time this afternoon, and we look forward to hearing back from you when we send out a survey asking how the day went and how we can improve it for next year. But thank you so much. Have a great day.